Hello, hello, loved ones. How are you doing? This is Love Marlene 411, and welcome to the Sip and Chat, where we sip and we chat and we talk about all types of different topics, which we talk about trauma healing, relationships, family, children, work problems, just all types of issues when it comes to love for ourselves, how it affects us. So, welcome to the Sip and Chat. I am waiting on my co host, which will be here shortly. And I want to say, hi, how's everybody doing? Happy Thursday to everybody, to all of the loved ones. I can't wait to get into today's topic. Make sure that you let me know in the comment section what you are sipping on today. And I do see my co host, Miss Nexie. Let's welcome her to the Sip and Chat.
Hello, Miss Marlene. Hello,
Hello.
chat.
Hello, hello, Miss Nexie.
Uh, how are you, Miss Marlene?
I'm doing awesome, awesome. But before all of this, I saw you dropped a super chat in here. So you know what we have to do? We have to bring
Whoa,
Panda.
whoa, 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 whoa. I have no idea what you are talking
Oh,
about,
you have
young
no idea.
lady.
Okay, okay. But still, Panda has to make an entrance. So,
Yes, he does.
oh, please.
You know I'm dancing right next to that panda, right? And I'm doing the motions too with the little money. Tat, 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 tat.
I was doing what's that? What's that dance? You hopping? Okay, Miss Nexie. So, this is a sip in the chat. So, I got to ask you a question. What are
Uh-oh.
you sipping on, Miss Nexie?
You know I'm a boring person, Miss Marlene.
Hmm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You're cutting out. Are you back?
Yes, I don't know what's
Okay.
going.
Okay.
The,
Okay.
the internet has been acting so weird, Miss Marlene. So weird. It keeps on
Okay.
kicking me out.
You say you're a boring person. So let me guess. Let's see how much I know Miss Nexie. She's having a hot coffee.
Oh, oh my God! You know me. You know me.
Mhm.
Can you hear me, Miss Marlene?
I hear you, but you're kind of like, you sound like you're in a tunnel.
No, it's weird because my internet has been kicking me out.
Oh, it
I
has
don't
been kicked.
understand what's going on. It's
Oh,
just
you're back.
see,
I can
it
hear
keeps
you
on
now.
kicking me out. Like I don't understand why.
Oh, that's because you've been a bad boy.
Yes, I have. And somebody told me today that I am a bad boy because I bought him a new bed set and beautiful and everything. Well, he is unhappy because he had this old raggedy thing and I took it out and threw it away. And so he's mad.
Well, our beloved special needs do
Yes.
not like change. So,
No, they do not. So right now he's in a mood. So I am being called a bad boy, Miss Marlene. I have been called that since this morning. So I believe you.
yep, you're a bad boy. So, Miss Dexter, go ahead and ask me
Okay.
what am I sipping on?
Let me ask you, Miss Marlene, what are you sipping on tonight?
Miss Nexie, you'll never believe it, but you're being a bad boy, but I'm being a good boy
Uh oh.
because I am having ice cold water because I'm behaving myself. And for all the chat that doesn't know, when we say bad boy and bad girl, bad boy and bad girl, we are talking about in our families. with our special needs children, they say that we are bad because we don't do what they want. So that's what we're referring to. We're Miss Nexie is a
Yes.
bad boy, but today I'm a good boy.
Yeah, and also remember my special needs little character, because he is a character. He does not know the difference between a boy and a girl, meaning for him, it doesn't matter. So, because he is a boy, everybody else is a boy. That's
Yes,
that's the way he looks at things. So, whenever anything happens, and even if it's a little girl throwing a tantrum, he just says that she's a bad boy because she is
yep,
throwing a tantrum. So I'm a bad
yep.
boy. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
Miss
yes.
Nexie is a bad boy, but I'm a good boy today.
Very proud of it too.
Because I'm usually the bad one. I'm usually having like some Courvoisier or tequila, but today I'm just having ice water because I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. Okay, Miss
Yes,
Nexie.
you are.
So,
Yes, Miss
we
Marlene.
have Shelly in the chat. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Shelly. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in.
Welcome, welcome, Miss Nexie.
Uh oh.
so,
Uh oh.
so, we're talking about getting revenge.
How long is this? How
I
long
should
is
cue,
this? Is
I
this
should cue
show
the,
in this program?
yeah, I should cue the piano. Dun, dun, dun.
Ta-da! Yes, you should. You should have. Uh oh, we're having too much fun with this revenge thing. Okay, okay. So we're talking about revenge, right?
Mhm.
Getting revenge.
Yes, getting revenge. So, okay, first I want to start off by saying, me and Miss Nexie are not condoning bad behavior and all of
No.
this stuff, but we're just saying, like, in an alternate world, like, if you really could, you know, would you get revenge? That's why I said, what would you do? Would you get revenge, or would you turn the other cheek and be a good boy?
Miss Marlene, I'm only human. I ain't turning the other. They better even not touch the first cheek. So no, no. But Miss Marlene, we're not condoning, and you're right. We're not, advocates of violence or anything like that. But revenge, getting revenge doesn't necessarily mean in a violent way. You can get revenge in other ways and get, what you want in a positive kind of way, like get make them pay back in a positive kind of way. You can, there's so many levels, but go on, Miss Marlene. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to put that little, sip it of, in our
Yes.
sip and chat, a little sip of, it doesn't have to be a violent getting revenge type of thing. It can be, revenge in a very good and, clean way.
Yeah.
No violence whatsoever. It can be done, and it's actually the sweetest one if you think
Oh,
about it.
I'm such a good, I'm a good girl. And I was thinking about, just going right for the jugular or just going, you know, what? No, you guys weren't? Okay. Okay. Just me. Okay.
Well, no, 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 no. You're not alone on that one. I mean, I have, nobody knows my address, right? I have never ever broken anybody's, front window of the car. The I have never ever keyed anyone's car. I'm not. You know
You
what I
have,
mean?
you have never.
I have never ever ever, thrown away somebody's keys. No, I have never done those things. Car keys. I have never. I've
Oh,
always been a good boy. So go on,
you've
Miss
always been a
Marlene.
good boy, but Miss Nexie, I can't say you can say you have been good. I cannot say that because when I was younger, and I remember a specific teacher who shall remain nameless, when they gave me a C in class, and I was the perfect student, Miss Nexie.
Uh
I
oh.
always got A's. And when I saw a C, I saw red.
Uh
Okay.
oh.
And I knew where the teacher lived. Okay. So in the evening, when I guess my mommy and my daddy went to bed, I snuck out, me and my brothers, toilet papered from the trees, her car, the house, toilet papered all of it. And it felt so good. So that was my revenge. A simple revenge, Miss Nexie. What happened? I don't know. Miss Nexie went out, I guess. So I see a comment here from Shelly Shells. She says, I say the best revenge is happiness. Your enemies hate that. I won't stoop to their level. You know what? I personally believe that the best revenge that you can ever get in this life is just doing something that somebody doesn't think that you can do, whether it's your family, whether it's a friend, or it's a job, or it's other people, social media. You know, what some of the best revenge that you can ever get is when people didn't see you as anything. You know, you weren't seen as a threat, like the underdog. So that's one thing for sure that I will say is that people don't see when you are successful. People don't see the potential within you. And I know coming from that, I used to feel like some type of way when people wouldn't believe in me, or when people would say things that was really rude and nasty about me. And these people don't even know you. They don't even know who you are. Um, and what you're capable of. They just feel like they want to break you because of some reason or the other. They're just nasty or they're rude. So that's one of the things that I will say for me. I think the best revenge is to be more at peace. And you're right, Shelly, that the best revenge is success and happiness. And I don't think there's anything better in this life better than being happy. Absolutely nothing is better than being happy. And people who are miserable, they absolutely hate to see you happy. People who are angry, miserable, especially people who won't do anything with their life, they're angry, or for some reason or the other they went through something. And I will say it even happens within the family unit, family, quote unquote, relatives as I call them. Your relatives are the people that you need to really watch out for, because those are the main people who you think you're safe around them, and those are the same ones that are jealous of you, hate you, will manipulate, control, take everything that you have if you let them. So that's something that you may not even think about it, but maybe your own relatives are jealous of you, hate you for some reason, and you've done nothing to them. I That's something that I will never understand, because you can do so many good things for your relatives, so many kind deeds for them, just being super supportive. And those are the ones that they hate you, and they want revenge on you. They'll make up lies about you to try to get you to lose your job. They want your marriage to break up or your romantic relationship. They'll do anything that they can do to get you, to get back at you for some reason or the other. It's one of those things that does not make any sense to me, is why do relatives try to make you miserable or try to see you fail? That's something that I don't know. I guess I'm just not that type of person. I give to people that I care about. I give to people that I love very freely, but I've learned to pull back on that. Welcome back, Miss Nancy.
I am so sorry. My internet is acting up. I even tried to use it without, Wi-Fi, and I couldn't get it. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm back, Miss Marlene. Thank you for holding
Oh, no problem.
the whole thing by yourself. And you're right. A lot of times relatives, and we only, I know that in our chats a lot of time we discuss that a lot of our relatives, and this and this and that, but it's because the biggest lessons, Miss Marlene, we have learned from our relatives, right? Rather than from friends, or coworkers or whatever. But for me, I have a lot of wealthy, relatives in my family back home where I'm from.
Mhm.
We have a lot of wealthy relatives, and we're not, any. My father wasn't rich. He was, a modest, a poor man, but he gave us a lot more in love and attention and understanding than my rich relatives gave to their kids, right? But I remember a lot of times when, back home, and people don't understand how lucky they are here that, elementary school, junior high school, and high school are free, right? And I
Yeah.
always tell people this because they don't get what I'm meaning. But the thing is that for us back home, if we wanted to go after elementary school, right? If we wanted to continue on to junior high school, there's fees to pay. Only elementary school is free. The rest of your schooling, like junior high and high school, is free.
Yes. Oh no.
Hey,
But that
a lot of things, a lot of times people, I mean, we are not able to afford them because, again, we're poor. But I remember them always giving us, criticizing us and always putting us down. When my cousins or, um, you know, nieces or of my cousins and stuff like that will come up with, oh, I'm going to, junior high, and I got admitted, and I have my uniforms, and I got my books, and I'm going to be able to go into high school, and or I'm entering high school now. And they will look at us and say, oh my god, I hope that one day you guys can get, to go to junior high, or I hope that you're able to go to, high school. And they will always make us feel very, very small, and like we
less
were
than.
nothing in their eyes. Yes, less than. And very, very, like, not appreciated, not wanted as families, because we didn't have the means that they did. And so my revenge, and I guess from anger of seeing how they will, belittle my siblings because I'm the youngest, from anger of how they were treating them, or the way they will, like, kind of like push them aside, not really inviting us to sometimes graduations of other things because we weren't at the same level, I guess. So my revenge for that was, I'm going to get educated. I'm going to go as
Mm.
far as I can go, and I'm gonna turn around one day, and I'm gonna see that person working way below me one day. And Miss Marlene, that is a motivator. That is something that motivates you like nothing else can. And I will say, my father is gonna have a great life. I want to see your dad when he gets old, because my dad is gonna have a lot of people loving him, a lot of people looking after him, and a lot of us supporting our daddy in whatever, because he's the most wonderful dad in the world. So because my uncles were professionals, not all of them, but a good majority of them were. So they were able to afford a lot of things that my dad couldn't. But my dad
Yes.
succeeded them all in love and understanding. So that's what I did. That was my motivation to keep on going. I'm gonna go this, I'm gonna do that, I don't care what it takes, but I am gonna go super far. And yep, I've seen several of my cousins from back home that they were this and that in this country, not at the level that they thought they were back then. And I look at them, and when when they are told what I do, they're like, "What? really? Oh, that's wonderful. And I just look at them and I'm like, yeah, for me it is. It sucks for you though, because you were not at the same level now. And I know it's petty, Miss Marlene. I know it's a petty type of thing, but for me, it gives me joy when they get told what I do and I see what they're doing now. So
Hmm.
yeah,
So so
that's my
so that
sweetest
that that is
revenge.
that is another level of revenge is getting your education.
Oh yeah, and throwing it on their
Mhm.
faces. Also, I thought you guys were big crap over there. What? Why are you? I don't want to say any profession because I don't want to insult anyone, right? Because every profession
Mhm.
it deserves respect.
Yes. Yes, I will
And
agree.
actually say, hey, I am so sorry. I know I like the fact that I can say, hey, the tables have turned, huh? Look how the
Mhm.
world goes around. I'm petty. I know I'm petty. But I don't care. And I like the fact that I can do, but for me it was a motivation to continue to go as far as I could so that so that I can throw it on their face. Hey, see how everything turns and how lives gives you sometimes the ability to pay back in karma what you do to others, you know.
And I can say for me, one of the best revenges that I got in my life was the people who, like, I remember being, because I'm the youngest to Miss Nexie, and I remember growing up and wanting, like, like begging, literally begging, will you spend some time with me? Can we go somewhere? Oh no, I'm far too busy. Oh, I have a life. I have this to do. I have to hang out with my boyfriend or my husband or this person. Like they never could make time for me when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And now these individuals, of course, they're older now. They're just sad. Nobody visits them. They're always by themselves. And they're like, I sure wish somebody would come and visit me. And I'm like, good luck with that. Petty.
It ain't gonna be me.
I was like, it ain't gonna be me, because I said I remember when it was me and I was begging you. You didn't have 5 minutes for me, and that is,
Yeah,
I think that's gives them something to think about. Oh, people forget sometimes
Miss Mar-
that. Oh, go ahead, Miss Nexie.
no, Miss Marlene, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is when they say, I wish somebody will come and visit me. You'll be like, oh, let me show you my last trip with all of my friends where we went here and there and there and there. And, let me show you the pictures. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm sorry nobody visits you, but I have a lot of friends that I hang around with now. So I don't need your company anymore. But let me show you my trips.
yeah, but Miss Nexie, is I literally don't do it as a revenge thing to get back at them, but for my thing is, it took me such a long time and it brought me so much emotional pain when I was younger
Mm-hmm.
that I was, I could say, abandoned. Like, oh, I don't have time for
Yeah.
you, little girl. Or like, oh, look at your clothes. Like, always making you seem like you're inferior to them.
Oh,
Oh, I could
oh,
never have any time for you. Oh, I'm way too busy. Oh, you don't have money. Always looking down at you and holding their nose up in the air, like things like that.
uh-huh.
And those are the same individuals now where Miss Next, now I can tell you now that they're older, they don't have the money, they don't have
Uh-huh.
the prestige and all of this stuff, and now they're, oh, I wonder what Marlene's doing. Do you think she could,
Mm-hmm. When
you,
are you
you
gonna
think we
come
could tell her to
visit?
come and visit us? Yeah, and she's like, I don't think so. She's kind of busy doing her, her all her stuff and hanging
Living
out
her
and going
life.
on trips. Yeah, petty.
Again, Miss Marlene, it's part of that for me. revenge, I know that a lot of people can, it can go both ways, right? You can get revenge. It depends on the person too. Depends on its individual. I guess revenge is an individual type of thing. Like there's a way they're gonna get revenge on certain people, and of course there is, other people that are gonna go get on them. You're gonna get your revenge in a different way. Yeah, it happens. We're not saying that we cannot go there, that we haven't gone there. Of course we have. But I feel that as I get older and I get wiser, right? That for me, the sweetest revenge is when I can, show them that I'm not that little one that they disregarded back then, the little one that they didn't include in their festivities, or they didn't include in their lives because we had no means, right? We didn't have, like you say, the status, or because they couldn't be bothered with someone of a younger age. They didn't want to waste the time on someone younger than them, or again, they didn't have the means, so they surrounded themselves by people like them, and ignored the familial ties that we had, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it's better to show them now, yeah, I could invite you, and yeah, I have plenty of room in my house where you can stay when you come for a visit, but I choose not to invite you over and give you one of my rooms, because those are
Mm-hmm.
my rooms in my
Yep.
house, and these
Yep.
are my rules. I don't invite people that have never really been there for me. That's my choice, and I have, the privilege to exercise that.
Yep. Me too, Miss Nexie, because one of the things that I don't know about everybody else, I'm just stating from my own personal, experience and journey in my life. But when you experience a lot of emotional pain behind, certain individuals, whether it be relative or um, romantic relationship or a friend or a job or whatever, when people say things, those words, it's like it does something to you. And until you learn that you have more power than you think, and
Mm-hmm.
then do something with that negative energy. Don't let other people tell
Yeah,
you
with
who
that
you
power.
are and what you can be.
Miss Marlene, again, the revenge it's a it's a very strong, um how can I put it, motivator for you to do certain things, right? You can wait, in height, and then pounce on them with your revenge. You can do that. But for me, I guess because of the way that, the way that you and I think, I guess for me, I remember I was a young, bride and a young mother, right? When I started having children. And I remember someone very, very close to me, that I love very, very much. I remember this person making comments around, sometimes in front of me, and sometimes this she will do them in front of others, right? Other relatives, my siblings. Sometimes I remember this person saying, you know, oh my God, you're having babies so young. Oh my God, those kids are going to amount to nothing because you're so young, you don't have the wisdom, right? To raise your kids, pretty much in those. That's the way I took it, because of the way this person, I know this person, so I know how she thinks and the meaning behind her words. And so she will say your kids are going to amount to nothing because you're not going to have the wisdom to raise them right. And I told this person, oh, and she said, I bet your daughters are going to be young moms just like you. And I was like,
Wow. How rude, how rude are they? Uh-oh. I think your Wi-Fi went out again, Miss Nexie. I think it. Try
Did I
again.
lose you? Oh, there you
Yeah.
are.
Now
There
you're
you are.
back.
Can you hear me? I'm so
Yep, I hear
sorry.
you.
Okay, so this person will say, you they're gonna amount to nothing, and your daughters are gonna be young moms just like you, because and I said, no, no, no. Those words and those things that you're wishing upon me and my children, those things, your beautiful eyes are not gonna be able to see in this lifetime. I said, I can promise you that you will never, ever, ever see that you're wishing upon my children come true in this lifetime, because I have the protection of my Lord. I said, I have the protection of my sanity, and I'm going to make sure that that is not something that you can see. And hey, Miss Marlene, by the grace of God, with whatever tools he gave me, I was able to educate my children. I was able to make them good women, good men. And my kids, they're married. They have, beautiful lives. They're professional kids. They don't give me any trouble. I barely have one grandchild that my daughter just had. And my daughter is 35 years old. Baby is one. So I went back to that person and I said, I told you. Remember when you said this and this and that? I said, I told you your beautiful eyes were never going to see this. And you know the funny thing, Miss Marlene? All of that person's other family members and her children and grandchildren, they have all been young moms. They have all been all over
Wow.
the place. They have all been involved in sometimes, petty crimes, this and that. But my children, the ones that she wished all that bad juju, that bad energy on, and that karma towards, went back to her part of the family.
Hmm.
So, for me, again, when people are, been mean or disrespectful, for me revenge is a motivator to
Yes.
teach them that whatever they wish upon me is not going to happen because they say that, because God has other plans with me and my children. So yeah.
Wow. But I can't believe, you
And this
know.
is a family member too, Miss Marlene.
Oh, I know, Miss Nexie. Those are the main ones. That's the very interesting thing.
Yes.
That's a very interesting thing about, our relatives, that they love to talk about us and say what we're going to be. And, they, I don't understand why people will say your own relatives, you'll never amount to anything, or, oh, your parents are going to have to take
Mm-hmm.
care of you for the rest of your life. And all, like, where do they get these
Yes.
things from?
Yep. Yep.
It's
And
just,
and
it's
and you're getting married young, and the first thing they say, oh, that's not gonna last. Oh, you'll see her. She's gonna divorce this one and then have kids, like 10 kids from other men, because she's so young and she don't know. And I'm like, no. And it hurts more because this is family. You don't I will never say something like that to a family member. I will never wish any ill will on anyone, but less on a family member. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't go to my sisters and say, "Oh my God, your daughter! Look at her. Those kids are gonna be a waste." You don't say things like that. But some of our family members have no filters. They don't think before they speak. And
yeah.
when you throw
You,
ugliness outside towards somebody else, there's a mirror, you know, just making you look at the things that you're saying and doing, and it reflects it back on you. That's what I always look at it. It's like it's this mirror behind me that is throwing that right back at you. And it happens so more often than none that people have those feelings that, why are you know I haven't done anything to you, and this is, like, I guess, from me, right? I haven't done anything. I haven't asked you for anything. You have never helped me on anything, money, or otherwise. I have never come to you for anything. So why do you dislike me so much, to go to the level of saying you're gonna amount to nothing and your kids are gonna be nothing? because you're so young and inexperienced. And I'm thinking, didn't you marry young and inexperienced as well? Like, why am
Yeah.
I so different than you?
Yeah, it's crazy, Miss Nexie, because I remember like growing up and the things that people would say about me and my family, because we come from a big family. It was 10 of us kids, and they used to say all kinds of things to my mother. And what's even more hurtful, Miss Nexie, is when an adult says something to you as a child, like they're telling you adult problems, you know, and then you
Mm-hmm.
be
Yep.
oh my God, like, oh yes, soon you guys are gonna be out on the street. And I would be like, oh my God,
Yes.
we're gonna be homeless. And my mom said, what are you talking about? It says, well, cousin said, or auntie said, or this person or that person said, and she's like, what? She said, no, no, baby, we're not gonna be out on the street. So it's just ridiculous, the drama and the problems that they'll say, because they want to see you fail.
Yeah.
They want to see things happen. And you're right, Miss Nexie. The same individuals who said things about my family, how we're going to be outdoors, and oh, why would anybody want to have all of these kids, is the very
Hmm.
individual, Miss Nexie. They can have children. So it was a jealous,
Yes.
and also that they never found anybody who wanted to marry them. So it when I look back at it as an adult, then I was like, they were jealous because my mom got married, had her kids, we all stayed together and things like that, and they could never find any of those things. So I feel like that was a revenge. That was like literally a slap in their face, you know, because they
Yep.
couldn't have children. And my mom was like, hello, she's like, I think I'm pregnant again. She's pregnant every year.
And and sometimes, Miss Marlene, there's people. I have a son who was, I always call him my gift from God, because he is not biologically mine, but in my heart and in my mind, he is mine. I raised him since he was little. I helped raise him since he was little. I cannot not give credit to his mother, because she's always been there. She's a wonderful mom as well. But she allowed me to help. He's my husband's son. And my son, we don't like to use the word step. We don't feel like we're stepping on someone. And so I that word is redacted from our vocabulary in my family. So we don't use stepdad or stepmom we don't use step in any point, unless we're stepping over someone.
Well, in Miss Nexie, in our family, we call them bonus children. Uh-oh. Did you go? Did it cut out again?
My internet is cutting off. Can you hear me, Miss Marlene?
Oh, I hear you now. I said in my
Yeah,
family.
right. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see my avatar. I My internet. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. So he's my gift from God. I've raised him since he was a year old, and I have never asked him to call me anything else but my name, and he never has called me that. He's always called me mom. And his mom, was okay with it. I asked if it's okay, and she was okay with it. Um, but anyway, so I remember we had an acquaintance that she had gotten married to a friend of ours, and she had three kids, I think, and our friend had one. And when she saw the relationship I had with my son at this stage when we met, this person, my son was only 4 years old. And so my son it was always very clingy to me. He still is very clingy. We have a very close bond. And so he's very clingy. And he's always on me, and I'm over here helping, doing whatever. And I remember one time, my husband said that his friend had pulled him aside and said, are you sure that the love that Nexie or this person has for your son is genuine? Like, are you sure is for reals? Because you know how certain step persons, moms, right, in that man's eyes, they're not, 100% for real in front of you. And my husband is like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh no, it's just because my lady was telling me that, that it looked fake, the love that she had, that I had for my son, that in her eyes it looked fake. And this is someone, Miss Marlene, that we had just met. She had barely gotten married to our friend, and she was already saying that my love for my son was fake. And so my husband turned around and said, no, the relationship those two have is very weird, even to me. They're very close. I don't think she's a step anything. I think that's his mom. It's they don't look at things that way. It's different between those two. I don't even understand it, my husband said. It's just weird how they're so together. Like, and again, I never asked him for anything. I just treated him like I did, our kids. It has nothing to do with that, right? So this person kept on persisting. And one day I confronted her and I said, stop projecting your feelings toward his daughter on me and my son. I said, what's wrong with you? Maybe you're the one faking those feelings, and that's why you think that I'm doing the same thing. I said, no, this is my son. I've raised him for the past almost 5 years. There's nothing stepped between us. This is my son and I'm his mother. So please stop talking so negatively around us, right? I don't care what you say to your husband in closed doors, but please make sure that he doesn't come back and say it to us.
Mhm.
And so she was like all beshape, and I figure out, like, probably like 5 years into their marriage. At this point my son is 9, almost 10 years old. They were getting divorced, and I found out that she was really mean to his daughter, to my friend's daughter. And our
Mm,
friend's daughter didn't like her, felt uncomfortable around her because she was so mean when our friend wasn't around. So that was a projection of it, of her feelings towards that little girl. And she was trying to say that I was the one not loving my son. I was like, that is so weird. So on people like that, you have to allow them to be wrong. And my revenge on that person was, you see, we're 5 6 years into it. I am not the one with the fake feelings. It was you. My son and I are very close, and he's not a dummy. He can tell you, he will know if I was faking it. So by us sticking together and getting to be the mom and son that we are today, that's my biggest revenge towards that person that was thinking that I was faking my feelings for my son. You know what I mean? Like, so those that's the way I look at things. It's weird, I know. It's weird, but that's the way I get revenge on those people, by not giving them the satisfaction of being right, because they
yes,
weren't.
yes, Miss Nexie, and in reply to your, in conjunction with what you were talking about, like I said in the chat, I don't like relatives drama. And
Mm-hmm.
notice I call them relatives, and it's no
Yes.
shade or anything. I don't call people family. Family are people who have, by choice, they have chosen me back. I'm very selective
Yes.
about who I call my family, and family to me does not equal blood. There's
Blood.
people that I
Yes,
have in
ma'am.
my life right now, and they are my family, and we are not blood relatives, but I love them and they love me. They have made a choice to choose me back. And
Mm-hmm.
you can have a blood relative and they do not choose you, never choose you, will never choose you. So,
Mm-hmm.
we have to learn to stop giving people that title that don't deserve it. They're not your
They
family.
don't. They're not. And that's the thing, Miss Marlene. The sweetest revenge is the one that you can prove to them that what they were saying, thinking, or wishing upon you has turned around. and show their true face by showing us exactly that all those things that they were wishing on us, or trying to make come true on us, is literally what they are, not what we are. And people like that, that are biologically part of your family, right? They don't deserve that name, because like you, I have friends that are my family, more my family than my real family, and
Mm-hmm.
they support and they are there for me in the worst. They have been there for me in the worst times of my life. They have been there for me in the greatest joys of my life. So that sometimes, even my biological family has never even considered being part of, because they're too busy criticizing, they're too busy trying to poke holes on how real, certain things are about me. So those people are just relatives, even if biologically we are supposed to be family. They're just relatives that
Exactly.
we have no choice on.
Exactly. And I wanted to go on this part about my way, my biggest way that I got revenge from my past trauma was getting healthy. And for some people, that may sound weird.
Hmm.
My thing is, I did not want to bring another generation of brokenness. And I think
Hmm.
sometimes people don't think about that. Like, if something really messed you up, like if something really screwed with your head and caused you a lot of pain, angers you, and all of those things, you need to do something about it so that you don't scar another generation. Because I'll
And
say
you
it
don't.
this way. Oh, go ahead, Miss Nexie.
No, no, no. Go ahead, Miss Marlene. Go ahead.
I'll say it this way. I believe that if you don't fix what hurt you, you're going to hurt someone else. And you
Yes.
may not mean to. You could be not try to. You could have probably hated what happened to you, but if you don't fix and heal what hurt you, you're going to, what is it called? Project that fear, that insecurity, or do
Hmm.
just what the person who hurt you did. And yeah, that was my
Yes.
revenge. My
With that saying,
revenge.
Miss Marlene.
Oh, go ahead, Miss Nexie.
No, no. I'm saying it's that saying. Hurt people, right?
Yes, I think you cut out
Uh,
again.
I'm sorry. Did you? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's my internet. No, no. You know that saying that says that,
Yes,
hurt people hurt people,
yes, I
and
do.
that's exactly what it is. If you don't heal it, and I'm very glad that you healed, your pain, that you healed everything in you, and that you're still healing, you're still working on that, because otherwise, again, you would have been another generation that would have scarred and harmed this new generation. But thank God that you found, the skills, you found the way to heal yourselves so you can teach them. That way, our next generation is going to be even better than the
Yeah,
one we're helping uh, right now, because, we're healed.
yes, and the thing about it is that we have to learn to not be. Hold on a second. Wow, that was
Bless you. That's what it was.
so strange. I had a sneeze and a cough at the same time. Um,
Yeah, that's why I said bless you if that was a sneeze, because I wasn't sure.
yeah. Um, so that was one thing that I did that for myself because I'll tell you, Miss Nexie, it's not easy when people emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, like scar you, even even sexually, bring you
Hmm.
pain and bring you, you know, difficulty, abuse, really emotionally, like mess you up in the head. mess you up in what you feel like you can do because they browbeat you and made you feel like you were like a speck of dirt. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever the issues is that happens to us, for me, my revenge was saying I will never make the next generation in my family feel like I used to feel. For me, that's getting revenge.
Exactly. That's the whole point, is that, revenge doesn't have to be physically or something destructive, right? It doesn't have to be something that you go and break every window in their cars, or, slash their tires, although that's very satisfying, or key their car. It doesn't have to be that. It can be something that it's going to take you a little bit of time, but in the long run it's going to be something that you can look at them, smile in their faces, and say, see, I am different. Even though you didn't think I was, I am different than you, because I can make everything that you wished upon me negatively, I can turn it into a positive. Everything that you said negative about me, I turned it into a positive. And I
Hmm.
have the best kids in the world. I have amazing, amazing friends. So everything you said that I wasn't, going to be able to do and accomplish and fulfill, I've done it, threefold.
Yep. And that feels, for me, that feels so good, knowing that
Yes.
I showed up in this world. Like, I can say, from the time I was probably, as long as I can remember, my whole childhood, I can say until I was like 22 years old, I was really messed up in the head, Miss Nexie. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
just going through life and you're not really thinking that you are, because you give yourself like this narrative, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm Gucci, I'm this, oh yeah, I'm tough, I'm strong, I'm bad. You put all this stuff in your head in order for you to be able to navigate your life and make it another day. But really you're not, because you're miserable in every relationship. And one thing that I learned is that, looking back on relationships that didn't work out, whether friendship or romantic, anything that didn't work out in my life, it made me go back and question it, because initially you will be blaming people for whatever they did to you. But when you start healing, you're like, wait a minute. You start thinking back about your reaction, you think about your attitude. How did you treat people? When you really become accountable, when you become transparent. And I learned in therapy that it's a whole different level to be transparent than to be honest. Because you could be honest about something, Miss Next,
Yes.
but it does not mean that you're transparent. You're just, mm, it's a whole nother level to be transparent. Mhm. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. There's, the for me is when I, you know, look at where I've come from. I'm from a faraway place, right? So the fact that I came and overcame everything that happened to me in the journey of life, and that I can, be happy, and I can have a healthy relationship with my children. I can have very healthy relationships with others, and I have a great relationship with my sisters, and a good relationship with my brothers. The fact that I can do that regardless of how much drama I have, accounted and experienced on my way here today. The fact that I was able to make a different, I had made, the kind of a change the outcome that everybody thought I was going to be. The fact that I could do that, it amazes me. And it gives me pride. It gives me something to say. It's not that I'm giving myself kudos. Oh my God, I'm so great. No, it's not that. It's just that because the life, what life gave me growing up, it was very tough, right?
Mm.
And so I really had only the support of, my dad, but he was far away, and my sisters who were also far away at home. So I was literally just on my own here. But the fact that I have overcome all of those adversities, and I have, been able to be a healthier me thanks to all the therapy and everything that I have done for myself, that in itself gives me, a very satisfying revenge for all those that wished me the worst and thought I was the worst.
Mm.
So that's why for me it's very important to always, keep my feet on the ground. Don't let anything else obscure your healthy mind, your healthy ways of dealing with things. Don't allow, somebody else, a third person, come in and say, "Oh, that's the way you deal with that." Oh no, mm-mm. You're not gonna get anywhere with that. I did it this other way. I don't allow those comments anymore. As before, I will say, "Well, they're my elders. I have to respect that." Now I said, "Nope, that's how you deal with it. That's you. I am different." I found my voice. I was able to say those. So now I'm thinking I'm doing a good job because I'm seeing the way, people are around me, and the way my kiddos are around and me, and I'm like, I'm doing great. I've done a great job of overcoming all the adversities that I did, and to not give the people that wished all those ugly things on me the satisfaction of seeing me exactly how they saw themselves.
Yep. I can say that too, Miss Nexie. I think that's one of the best
Of
things.
course.
I think that's one of the best things in life, Miss Nexie, to come from such a low, dark place to a place where you no longer let other people's whatever their opinions, their whether they like you or not, or whether they support you, not letting that stop you from being your authentic self. And I'll tell you, it's nothing like being in that space. But I didn't just get to that this space, Miss Nexie. I worked really hard. I
Yes,
put
we
in I
have.
put in time, energy, effort, money. I became accountable. I look at myself in the mirror and be like, "Girl, what are you doing?"
How did you get here, beautiful girl? How did you get
How
here?
what are you doing? Like what are we doing?
And again, Miss Marlene, to be able to laugh at what once probably brought us the biggest and hardest pains of our lives, to laugh at that is something so beautiful. I laugh at myself all the time, with the mistakes that I've made, the decisions. Sometimes I'm like, how did I think that that was gonna work? Like, what was wrong with me? But I can laugh now because I'm healed. I can laugh now because I'm still healing. And I can laugh because I am of healthy mind and heart.
Yes,
And that on itself is the sweetest revenge, Miss Marlene.
it is. And I want to talk about this part, which a lot of people don't really think about, Miss Nexie. But for me, the best revenge I can get is when you're around people who are not well mentally. And, it's a very tight rope. It's a very, like the lines can be blurred sometimes, but it's difficult when you have people around you that have mental illness. And I'm not always talking about diagnosed mental illness,
Uh-huh.
because there's a lot of people who are undiagnosed, but they still have mental illness. We know something is wrong with them, right? But whether they accept it or
Mm-hmm.
not, we can't let those individuals have the power and control over the life that we live, and how we treat ourselves and how we treat other people. And that is just what I know. For me, that's what happened to me. It controlled me for such a long time. The things that people did to me, the things that people said to me, the lack of support. It's a lot of factors that come into play. But you have to get strong within yourself, and you have to replace their actions, what they said with something positive. When people don't support me, I remind myself, why do I even need them? I
Yep.
don't. And that's one of the things that has helped me to get the best revenge is stop expecting support from people who have never supported you, or that they're going to just bring you pain and drama.
Yeah, and the answers, you know how when sometimes you're going through something and these people are undiagnosed, and I mean a whole bunch in my family that I feel are undiagnosed with a certain mental illness, and we're not criticizing, we're not shaming, we're
Mhm,
not putting them on the spot. What we're saying, and I think that I can say this for you as well, Miss Marlene, is that they know there's something wrong there, but they choose to
mhm,
continue to be that wrong instead of saying, you know what, there's why do I think this way, why do I act this way, why do I feel this certain way. They continue to stay there because they don't want to get the help that they need, right? And so with people like that, for me, I know I have a whole bunch of family, the relatives and close family sometimes that I know are not diagnosed, but I choose to have them in my life because I feel that seeing them, and if I can help guide them a little bit in a certain way by, kind of helping them see their wrongs, right, when they're doing something somebody else, I keep them sometimes around. I don't take anything that they give me. I just make sure that at a distance, I help as much as I can. But pointing out, you need help. You have to get help because what you just said to me is wrong. What you just did to me is completely wrong. I'm choosing to ignore it because I love you, but you need help, right? So
mhm,
these people now don't affect me the way they did in the past. How can I put it? They didn't affect me per se that I was gonna use whatever they said and guide my life by it. They affected me because they were speaking ill of me or my children or my parenting ways or other things that I did. That's what hurt me, right? But I still keep them in my life because I know that if I don't, there will be a lot, their life will be a lot harsher, a lot more dangerous, and a lot more, you know, in other ways. But I don't take what they say to me at face value anymore, right? I just listen to whatever negativity I hear, and then I, ignore it, flip it around, and say, hey, what you're saying is not right. You shouldn't say things like that to someone. It's painful. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't hurt me, but it may hurt somebody else. So watch out for what you say to others. So,
mhm.
I still, again, don't get rid of them because, they need me. And in a way, I need them in my life as well. But
Yep.
I don't put up with it like I used to before because again, we're healed, we're healing. We're in a zone where we can say, this is wrong. Don't say this to me again. And in their face say, you see, if you really, really, really wanted to, you can get the help you need. Look at
Mhm.
me. I did it.
Right, right. And Miss Nexie, I'm so glad that, from where we came from, Miss Nexie, I came from feeling that I needed people in my life that I didn't need, to turn around and supporting and being an advocate and role model for people who cannot find their voice. What do you call it? Being the voice of the voiceless.
Uh-huh.
For me, that is a revenge thing because I can say growing up, Miss Nexie, I used to be so afraid of confrontation. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. I cared more about other people's feelings than my own. And that I know it's warped. It's so strange that we care so much about speaking up and saying things because we don't want to hurt them, but they don't have any problem hurting us.
Exactly. For me, Miss Marlene, I do not like confrontations either. I don't. I If somebody's yelling at me or somebody's confronting me for whatever, if they raise their voice or they use profanity or whatever, I don't like that. It makes me very uncomfortable when people do those things. And I'm the type of person that, I don't go, I've seen people go off on each other. You're this, you're that, F you, blah. I don't do that. It's not something that I enjoy. And in my head, I've always felt that two people going crazy on each other, nothing wrong with that. But if they do it, tell them. So in my little young mind, I will say, why are they yelling? Nobody's gonna resolve it because they're not even listening to one another. They're just hearing the bad word and then answering that, but they're not really listening to the problem. So for me, I don't like confrontations. So what I do when somebody does that is I take it in and then I come back and speak to that person because I don't like to confront people like that. I don't like arguments. I don't like any of those things. I know we are going to have them, but we can have them in a civilized way. We don't need to go into those deep emotions and, call each other names and things like that. And I don't think that's healthy either
Yeah.
because there's a line of respect that you got to keep, not for them, but for you, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
people sometimes I've heard them call you're this, you're that, you sob, or and I'm like, wait a minute, no, 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 no. I'm allowing you to disrespect me by calling me that. No, 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 that's not gonna happen. So but you have to always make sure that your feelings, your mind, your healthy mind now is not being affected. But in order for you to put that stop to those people, right, you have to think things through and confront them, right? If you want to say that word, confront them in a natural kind of way and say, hey, don't ever do that to me again. This is the first and last time that happens. There's not going to be a second time. So don't ever do that to me again, or don't ever say those things to me again, ever. And that's it. You don't have to, dwell on it. You just have to use your rational, healthy mind, healthy heart, and speak,
Mhm.
you know, the way you want to be spoken to. That's that's
Yeah.
my revenge for those people that don't know how to control their mouth and they
So,
get brain, and I don't want to say the word, but like the stomach flu type of thing on, the other
yeah.
side of your body. Yeah, they get brain that.
Yeah.
And they don't think, I don't allow people to disrespect me, and with people that have disrespected me and have had the opportunities since I was younger. That was my revenge of going back to them now as an adult to say, don't you dare talk to me like that or my children like that again. It's a warning. There won't be a second time. And by doing that, you get your power back and you get your revenge back because you
Yeah.
put them in their place in ways that they have never seen it coming.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's the best thing, Miss Nexie, is when you get to be an adult. I don't know if you've ever done it, but what I've gone and healed my inner child from something that happened. They probably don't even know what they did. But I went
yeah.
back and I said, I have something to say. I've been waiting to say this for you to you for 19 years. But what you did, and I don't even know the date, on September 17th, 1997. They're gonna be like, what?
And then again, on October, blah, 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 of 2000 and this, you said it again.
Right. And the reason why it's
Miss
important
Wendy.
to say that and get the revenge by putting them in their place. I'm gonna say back then I didn't know my power. Back then
Uh-huh.
I let people run over me, but that will never happen again. And I want you to
Hmm.
know that you can never talk to me disrespectfully like that again. And I'm not
Yes, and that
going,
is your
yeah.
taking your power back, Miss Marlene. Taking your power back and demanding respect, which is
Hmm.
something that they never expect from us, okay? Because they have been doing this for so long that they do not expect for these two last children, right, of the family, the
Yeah, the babies,
little
they call us
not wanted
babies.
child,
Yeah.
yeah, to stand up for themselves and say, don't do that to me again. And you're not going to talk to my children like that again. This is a
Hmm.
warning. There will not be a second time. They don't know that you're not going to really go there and slap them or say something, but
Miss
the
Nexty,
fear that you
careful.
put
You
on
don't
them.
know that. Maybe if you test me.
Oh, there's the ghetto, Miss Marlene. Remember, we don't do good in jail. We're too bougie for it.
I know, I'm too bougie.
We
You know
can't.
I'm too
We
bougie.
can't.
I
We
gotta.
can't go to jail, Miss
I'm
Marlene.
gonna be like, well, where are my towels and where's my lip gloss and what? What do you mean?
No, no, no,
I
no, no,
don't
no,
get
no, no, no.
that.
Where's my loofah? Where is my good shampoo?
Mm-mm.
Where are my face creams? No, no, no. I can't do jail. No, no, no,
No,
no,
I'm
no,
gonna be
no,
like,
no, no. Where's my
hello, where
bathtub?
are my serums? Where are my serums, guys?
Yeah, Miss Marlene, where's my bathtub with the little oils that I put? No, no, no. I can't do
And my
jail.
candles.
Yes, and my kids, when I tell them that, I said I control myself because I'm not gonna do good in jail. I said, the mats, they don't have the soft ones I like on the bathrooms. They don't have those, plushy big mats for when I get out of the tub. I said, wait, they don't have a tub. They
Yeah.
don't have my oils. They don't have, my loofahs. I love those big, round, fatty ones. No, I can't do gel. They're like, that's what you're thinking of. And I said,
Yes, Miss
yes,
Nexie.
that's important to me.
Miss Nexie, I'll tell you how even more spoiled I am. I was like, and there's no hot towels when you get out of the tub.
Oh my God, that's true. There's no hot towel. I never thought of that. No, I
Yeah,
can't go to
and
jail,
I
Miss
was
Marlene.
like, I was like, I can't do jail or prison.
I
Yeah,
can't
I
be
said I
in
gotta do
jail
my
or
best to get
prison.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can't.
I was like, what do
Yes,
you
that's
mean
why
there's
we
no
can't. We
mani
can't
petties?
hit people.
I was like, what do you mean there's no mani petties?
When they oh, no, no, that's it. Nope, nope. So we have to
Mm-mm.
behave. We're gonna use our words to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna use our words. They're gonna be very scary and powerful, and we're gonna frighten the lights out of these people, but we're gonna use them.
Mm-hmm. Or we'll say something like all the right before we get to the door, we say something and then we take off. And they'll be like, oh, you're scary. Yep, that's right. Okay, I'm keeping myself out of jail. Yep. Say what I have to say and then slam the door.
Miss Marlene, I'm gonna say something. No, I'm not gonna say something. No, 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 no. Never mind that. Never mind that. Cause
I
yeah,
think I know
yeah.
what
No,
you were
that's
going to
fine.
say.
It will be an admission. No, we can't. I'll
Miss
tell you in
Nexty, I
private though.
need
I will.
omissions. I need them. I need them.
No, you
Hmm.
gotta throw that. No, you're gonna put me in jail. No, 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 no. Miss Marlene, prison and I don't get
Oh.
along.
Mm.
But going back to our topic, also, Miss Marlene, when you get that revenge on an ex, oh, dun
Oh.
dun dun.
Miss Nexie, you know what is the best revenge in this world? After you break up and then they see you and you're looking so fine. I was like, oh, you knew they were going to be there. You knew they were going to be there. Oh, I didn't. Oh, hi. Oh, hey. How you doing?
my,
I didn't know you were
my
going to be
my my friend, my friend, I have to tell you this, okay, my friend, because this is hilarious. It's not me because I haven't had this experience, but my friend, one of my good friends, Well, she's my best friend, one of my best friends, but she got the 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 guy, after my friend got pregnant. Apparently he didn't want children, and but he never said it like I do not want them ever, right? It was
Mm.
just like, I don't want kids, like now I don't want kids. So they get married, right? And my friend thought, he doesn't want them now, right? They never really discussed because they've been together for a very long time. So they got married, and my friend is like, so we have to start thinking about a family. And they started talking about family and whatever. And he's like, yeah, one day I guess, but they're not, like my priority. And my friend is like, well, I'm getting there in years, right? So I have to make that my priority now. So they talk about it, and they decide, and they have their kids. And by the grace of God, because I cannot say it any better way, my friend had twins. She got pregnant with twins,
Wow.
and she has a boy and a girl. And but anyway, so Mr. So and so, on, oh God, I hope it doesn't go back to this. But he decided that this wasn't for him. This is the reason why he didn't really want kids, because they were living a free, carefree life. They could travel, they can do whatever. And he knew the kids were gonna put a dump into that lifestyle. We could get up at any time we wanted to. We could do everything. And my friend is like, okay, but you said we could have them. So anyway, long story short, he says, this is not for me, and I'm sorry, I don't, this is not for me. So he asked for a divorce. They got separated. She even gave him a couple of years to think about it, if he wanted to really go through a divorce and everything. And yeah, he said, yes, I do. I really don't want to be a father. Like, I don't want to be a family man. That's his biggest deal. He didn't want to be a family man. So
Mm.
fine, my friend is going. She was going through a lot. This is about 10 years ago, Miss Marlene. My friend is devastated. Raising her kids. We're over there trying to comfort her and help her as much as we could. The kiddos are now in their teens, but at this point they were still little. And so whatever, they go through a divorce. And within like think like 3 or 4 months after they separated, he was already dating someone else. And she wasn't. So long story short, um 3 years ago, right after they lifted the thing on the pandemic, we took a short cruise with my friends. We did like a 4-day cruise, and
Mhm.
she met someone there. Very nice fellow. Funny. I mean, he was smitten by my friend right away. We could see that, because she's a beautiful lady. And so they started dating. They got married about a year ago. And my friend's ex has, you're not gonna believe this, Miss Marlene. He is raising two kids from the ex. I mean, for his new from his new girlfriend or whatever has two kids. So he's raising those kids.
What?
And my friend, yes, that does not want to be family man, is literally raising those kids. Now they're in their teens as well, but they're with them in the house. But his new girlfriend has two kids. So my friend just got married to this nice, amazing man who owns his own business. Okay. And he was worried during the pandemic because he thought he was not gonna make it, but he made it. He has his own business, his own restaurant, and he's about to open a new one. And my friend and him are traveling all over the world.
Wow.
And my friend lives in this beautiful house now. They have about 6 rooms, I think, in the little house that they own. And
Okay,
he
Miss
this man
Nixie, hold on.
loves my
Let me
friend's
pack my
kids.
bags. I won't take up
I
much
want to
room.
really
Just
tell you,
tell them I won't. I'll be
Miss,
in one little room. I won't touch any of their other
Miss
rooms.
Miss Marlene, my friend is like, hey, don't you think it's time for you to go home? I mean, you've been here 3 weeks. No, I'm
Like
just kidding.
nope, nope, nope.
So they're my friend is living a wonderful life. I know it's only been, they're going into, actually I think it's going to be their second anniversary coming up in October. Yeah, think it's no September or October. I don't even remember. Oh my God, she's gonna kill me if she listens to this. But she's living a wonderful life. Her kids, they're almost into high school, and her ex is dealing with the new girlfriend, and he's over there going into soccer games and everything with the other kids, and but didn't want to be a family man. My friend is looking smoking hot. She's working out. She's living a good life. Her husband adores her, and her ex. So they went to this wedding of one of my friend's cousins, and I guess they invited her ex-husband, and he shows up, and my friend is there in the arms of this new man, amazing man, and her
Mm.
ex is looking like uh, like horrible, Miss Marlene. He's
Oh
looking
man.
like he owes money to everyone. He's gained a lot of weight. His new girlfriend was there, dressed up, all nice and everything. Didn't even bother to dress him up, I guess. But my friend is over there in the arms of this new man, all proud and happy.
Mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
she says, I went through so much because of him. He put me through so much because he didn't want to be a family man, and that hurt me because these were our children, right? And it hurt me that
Yeah,
he is was
it's not like
raising.
she was out there doing all kinds of stuff. That was her husband.
Yeah, no, and not only that, Miss Marlene, this is someone that she says, I even put myself on hold so that he could go to school, so that he could get his education. I will not spend money because we wanted to buy this, travel here, do that. So she was always in economy mode, right? I'm gonna cut on this side so I can do this. She wasn't even taking care of herself, like with spas or mani pedi, of course, once every so often,
Mm-mm.
facials whenever she was able to save up enough. She was always doing this so they could have a better life. And right now she's like, and I don't even know, she says, why I did that. I should have known better not to stick around, but they had been together for so long, Miss Marlene. They were together almost 15 years.
See, Miss Nexie, I think it was she was waiting for him to change.
Yeah, I think that and they got along really well because they were a good couple, on the outside, right? Because we're on the outside looking in. They look like a wonderful couple, and she never had anything negative to say about him. The only thing was about the kids, that he didn't want to
Wow.
be. He wanted to travel. He didn't want to have kids. That was the whole thing. But they discussed after marriage, and he said, "You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Right? Let's see what happens." And then he realized that he didn't want to be a family man. So she says to me now, my revenge, she says, for what he put me through and our kids through, is to be the best mom that I can, to live the best life I can, and to be happy. That's my revenge for him. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. Just to be the best that I can be and be the best mother that I can to my children. And that's the revenge she's given him. She's moved on. And the new man is an amazing guy. He loves her very much. His kids are grown because he's about 12 years older than my friend. So his kids are grown, but he
Ooh.
loves my friend's kids.
So you're saying that she got a silver fox.
Yes, and she's very happy, and she will hit, like, if you say, like, when I come over, I said, "Hey, so and so," and I give him a hug and a kiss, and she's right away, too close, too long. That kiss lasted about 30 seconds. She goes, make me sure the next time is 15. So yeah, she's happy, Miss Marlene. She's very happy, and she says that that is the sweetest revenge she can have over her ex-husband, is that she's not gonna do well on whether he wanted to, not to, or what he turned out to be. She says, I'm gonna be happy, and that's the best revenge I can get. And she is.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, instead of trying, how like some people get so upset about, being, oh, a person slighted me or a person did this or that to me in a romantic relationship and want to turn it like twisted and evil, like try to take them out.
I never understood that. Never.
Yeah, but that's all because they're dwelling on it. They did
Yeah.
this to me. They did this to me. They did this to me. And that's a very easy thing to do because I have been there. You have to get that out. Like, I can't believe you did this. You need to deal with those issues, but you can't let it get to the point where now you're thinking about bringing physical harm to somebody else. That you need to check yourself. And I always say at the end of the day, if somebody didn't want you, they rejected you, don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. So,
Exactly.
you need to move on and find somebody else that will appreciate you.
Yeah, and I think, and again, we're not criticizing anyone. We're not trying to put you down or anything like that. It's just, but also, Miss Marlene, think about this: the pain that goes into when somebody rejects you, right? The pain that goes in when somebody has promised you all these things and they break their promise, or when they betray you. A lot of people, because it's so painful, they get foggy. They cannot use their mind. They don't, their rationale of things, because they're so hurt, right? And a lot of times uh, they take it to levels that you're like, whoa, I will never do that. But then again, I have never been put in that situation. So sometimes I understand. I don't understand. I can accept, right, that they have, because that's their right to do whatever they want with their feelings and their outcomes or whatever. That's their life. They have to leave it the way they think is the right. But I don't understand how you get to that place. Like I will never be able, no matter how much people have hurt me, I have never been able to say I want to unalive them. I want to plan
Mhm.
something that it is with someone so that we can unalive this person and cause them the heaviest hurt. You know what I mean? I have never been able to go there because I don't have it in me, I guess, to cause harm to others in that way. Like I don't, I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't be able to go there.
Well, I can't say. See, Miss Nexie, you're too good for me. I have. Yep, 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 yep. I had planned. I had plotted. I was like,
No, yeah, but you will never execute that plan. You just think about it, right? How would that person look suspended in
mm,
midair from their limbs?
I Miss
That doesn't
Nexie.
mean you're gonna do it. We all think of things like that. Oh God, I wish somebody will just, a big couch will fall on your head right now. As mad as I am, but you will never do that. Like I will never do that. I will never put a couch on top and have it fall on their heads. You know what I mean? Like thinking about it, I think we all have had a moment or someone that has taken us to that moment, but executing that plan and actually going through with it, that's something that I do not have in me. I will never be able to do that.
Well, Miss
Miss
Nexie,
Marlene, watch what you say, Miss Marlene.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I'm talking about pre-therapy,
Oh, yeah.
pre-faith, before
Gotcha.
I was on the path that I am now.
Because
Yes,
before you were healed.
before I was healed, before I found faith, before I, found really good people in my life that support me. When you're in a space of anger, desperation, jealousy, that combination together is very lethal.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that you will do when you're unbalanced. Like you are, I know I was unglued. I was like, okay. put a list together, writing it on a board.
Let's put a
Okay,
hit list together.
this is the hit list. Get it down. But I'm grateful, that finally I found people in my life that will help me to, turn that around, turn that
Mhm.
pain that they caused me, turn what people said about me. And the best thing that you can do, especially somebody who says you'll never be successful, or somebody who left you, abandoned you, disrespected you, the best thing that you can ever do is make yourself better, look better, take better care of yourself, get educated, have a successful business, have great relationships, like have fun with your life. For me, that is the best revenge that you can ever have, when you don't let a person who hurt you break you. I'm telling you, Miss Nexie, experience that, because I that's how I knew that I had grown as a woman. On my previous breakup, the last me, like I'm talking about 9 years ago, man, Miss Nexie, I'm talking about slashing tires, and yeah, that was the Marlene. I was like, okay, oh, you want it? Oh, you're done with me,
Let's do
really?
this.
We'll
Hey,
see.
hey, 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 hey. I get the energy to do this all day. You want your tires left? I can be here every day,
I was like, oh,
all
oh,
day, on
they
the
got new
hour.
tires. Slash them again. I said I can do this all week.
I'm here all week.
I'm here all week.
No, it's true. Like for me, again, it hasn't been. I haven't been able to get to that point. Like I can see getting upset, getting mad, getting angry, and thinking some very ugly thoughts sometimes, because we all have them. I'll be I'll be lying if I said no, I don't. I'm of pure thought. No, we all have those thoughts sometimes. So when you're like, man, I wish there was a car who will slam on you right now, blah, 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 or it will ram you in your mind. You get upset and you can say things like that. Executing it, though, is different, because for me, it's like, how can I think of hurting another soul, another human? Like, that's even a pet, I will never do that. But I'm thinking, like, how can, no, you cannot, I will never be able to get there, right? So far I have never been able to get there. I don't know if things will change later on in life, or anything will make me get there, but I have never been able to go there to cause harm to another person by
Yeah.
my hands. Like I don't
See,
know.
see, Miss Nexie, I never did harm by my. Well, that's not true either. Let me
Let's
not
not go
lie,
there. Let's
because
not go.
I
Watch
don't,
out, Miss
I don't,
Marlene.
I don't want to be hit by lightning, because God's gonna be like, what, you? What? He's like, excuse me, what did you say? Nothing. I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna be quiet.
Right now when you said that, God did a double
You're gonna
take.
be
Like,
like, what?
really, you're gonna go there,
Excuse
Miss
me?
Marlene? Because I can
Really?
bring the
Really?
I can bring the list out. I got your hit list. I took a I took a picture of that, Miss Marlene. I have it by memory right here. I can show it to you if you want to go and lie.
He's like, okay. What was that show, Golden Girls, when they used to say, "Picture it, Sicily."
Picture this, Sicily. No, but seriously, God just did a double take. Is she gonna lie right now? Is she going? I have your list. He's just gonna show you this little list. Okay.
Hmm.
Go on and lie. Go on and lie.
I know. That's why I said, when you're like, "Oh, I've never done," I was like, I'm just gonna
Ah.
be quiet. Yep.
No, we all have. I think the difference is when you take it there. Like for me, the first thing, like if I'm gonna think of something like that, the first thing is, oh my God, how much pain I'm gonna cause to my children, right? How I'm
Hmm.
gonna devastate him if I ever do something like that. So it's always the first thing that comes to my mind. before I take any action, I make any decisions on anything. It's no, I gotta wait that the consequences, or how my kid's going to feel, or how much pain am I gonna bring to them if I, execute this action. So it's always been in my mind. So for me to do it, when I see it, I'm like, how selfish, because you're hurting a lot more people than just the person that you actually hurt.
Hmm.
But revenge can be done without lifting a hand, and you can get revenge beautifully by being the best that you can be.
Yeah, that I think that's one of the best things that you can do. And I didn't understand, like when you like when you know how like people that you know, but you don't even know that they hate you until you see them later on, and then they're giving you the look like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking at you like, oh, you look good. Like, excuse me? Like, what am I supposed to look like? You know?
Yeah, sometimes
Crazy.
you have no idea how what people think of you, or how, or because you don't know how to read a room, right? Is when we're younger, we really don't. You learn how to read a room as you get older. But there's people who will always look at you a different way, or family members too, right? Some siblings sometimes can look at you a certain way, or talk about you in a certain way. You don't know how much they didn't like you until later in life. As you get older, they say, oh my God, you were such a pain. I used to hate when you did this and this and that, or I didn't like when you did. And I'm like, you're like, wait a minute, you didn't like me?
Mm-hmm.
You thought I was annoying? What? But there's people though that don't say anything. They treat you indifferently. They don't connect with you. And then as you get older, like you say, friends from school and stuff like that, sometimes coworkers that have mistreated you or have done things to you. The best revenge is saying, when they say I didn't like you, say, yeah, but I never really cared whether
Mm-hmm.
you like me or not. So I am me, regardless of what you think of me. I'm gonna stay the true self, me, to me, nobody else, because I'm more responsible for me. And
Yeah.
people like that, that's the best revenge you can get. Like saying, I don't care. Didn't care then. I'm pretty sure I don't care now.
You know what, Nexie? I think the best thing that you can ever do, whether it's a romantic relationship or a relative or a friend, but like somebody that thought you were gonna fall apart without them, and then you don't, and then they see you later on, and you're like, what is it called? You're looking like a prize wrapped up with a bow. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
yeah, look at
Hey,
what it.
Sirius. I didn't realize Sirius was here. Hey,
Yeah,
Sirius.
yeah. As my nephew would say, you go out and looking like a snack. No, hey,
Okay. No, again, people have, um some people feel that they're so elevated, right? They feel that they are, um someone more important, or that their opinion is more important in your life, that it really is. And sometimes they have that misconception that everything they say for you, or whoever they think is important to, um has any effect on you. So putting them in their place by saying, like for me, like, when my auntie made a certain comment, and she's like, oh, you've always been like that. Oh my God, that's why I didn't even like, I haven't liked you since childhood. And I looked at her and I said, oh, no wonder I have never cared what you like or think, or whatever it came into your life since childhood. I guess the connection wasn't really there. And she just gave me that that look like, what did you just say? I'm like, yeah, the connection wasn't there, so I really never cared. of what you
Mm.
thought or how you were, or how, like, the connection wasn't there. So I never really cared what you thought or didn't think of me. I guess, we can actually feel each other's energy. And her mouth literally dropped, like, oh my God. Like, she thought that her belittling of me, or the disrespect that she used to, bestow on me when we were younger, that was gonna affect me. It never had, right? Because she didn't matter. But the fact that I was able to put two and two together, that because the connection was never there, I didn't really care. She couldn't believe it because she thought that she was so
She thought you were going to fall apart.
probably
Uh-oh.
she probably thought that I was gonna fall apart, and that I was keeping all the negativity that she was giving me or saying or whatever, that I was keeping it in my life still. And I was like, no, I didn't feel a connection, so I didn't really care, and that hurt her. And I even looked at the change in her face, like, oh my God, like, how dare you, right? And
Mhm.
then, I was like, so how does it feel? And she just looked at me again, like, what? I said, yeah, how does it feel when you realize that whatever evil you were trying to inflict on me, it didn't really matter to me? I go, how does it feel? How do you feel? And she's like, ah, you're so disrespectful. You see, that's why I never liked this little girl, because she was so da da da. And I just laughed and left. I just laughed at my siblings and I left. And my sisters were cracking up. They were cracking up, turning their face around, because they were like, oh my God, there she goes. And she's messing with the wrong person.
Mhm. Miss
Because
Nexie,
I
it's
asked before
I
I
think
left, I said, okay, gotta go. Bye, everyone.
Miss Nexie, I think it's something special about us last children. It's something special. Like, for real. It's like a really special bond we have. I don't know. I just think the last children are just like next level petty. We really
Yes. Yes, we are. But I blame my father and my siblings. They over loved me. And so now my sister's like, oh, so what you turn out to be is our fault? But I learned so much watching them, as I was growing up, watching them go through everything. I learned from all of that. And I think that we are like, we get to be old faster than anyone else because we're dealing with older siblings, Miss Marlene. I
hmm
think that's why we're
and adult
so,
issues.
yeah. So we're like, sometimes more petty than our elder elders and of our oldest siblings, because we have seen all of the injustices and we know how our siblings react to that. We've seen our parents go, be put to shame for having too many kids, like in your case. We have seen our parents being put to shame because they don't have money. They're,
Mhm.
poor. So all of those things, I think, affect us in a different way. And we get old, our mind gets old fast because we're the youngest ones and we're dealing with older
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
That's how I think. That's that what I think it happened to me. I blame it on my siblings.
You blame all your siblings, and I blame my parents.
Yeah, no, I blame my siblings. They're their fault. They loved me too much. They overprotected me. They loved me. You overloved me. And my sister's like, what? I said it's all your fault that I am who I am now.
Mhm.
But it makes you someone that can, at least on my end, like, it made me very intuitive. Like, I've seen that face on my aunt the other day when she was talking to my sis. Yeah, I don't like this person then because she looks like that. So it makes you more in with your feelings. You go with your instinct. You're like, I don't know, and you don't put up with anyone.
Yeah.
It's their fault. They overloved me.
Well, I'm happy for you in your case, but for me, Miss Nexie, I turned out the way that I was. It was a survival mode thing. Like, I didn't have anybody to protect me per se.
Oh.
So that's kind of, I think that was the reason why I was always, I call it aggressive. I guess people would say
You have to protect
violent,
yourself.
but I was just aggressive because I was like, I couldn't trust anybody around me.
You
So
had to defend yourself.
I had to
That's why.
defend myself. I had to throw hands because that's just what I did. That's just what you did. It's like, I'm not gonna let anybody run over me. So, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
just the way it
no,
was.
but you see, with me, I think it was different because my mom left when I was only 5. So I think my older, my sisters and my older brothers, my siblings, I think that they probably felt bad, more like, poor baby, we have to protect her because, she was abandoned, the youngest. So I think that's probably what it was. But they, and my dad, of course, me being his fave, even my sister, my older sister, says, it didn't matter who came through that door. My dad was the happiest when I entered the door, like when Nexi came. And, it's because of they felt also bad. They felt, I think, pity in a way that I was left so young
Mm,
and overprotecting, over loving. Of course, I cherished it. I loved it, right?
of
Even though,
course.
as poor as we were, they were always, making sure that I was okay.
Mm,
That's the thing, and that's something that I have never been able to, that I appreciate so very much, and I will never and have never been able to repay back to them the way I would love to. But I try to, as much as I can, repay all of what they did for me, all their kindness, all their protection, by, being there as much as I can for them. But I didn't have to, say I don't know what love is because I was left so young. No, I know what love is because of that.
mm. And it's so funny, Miss Nexie, we had the same experiences but different experiences because you went through those things but you had love. I went through those things and did it, but then we came back together and found our own way,
Yeah.
you know, to to, to love
Ex-
ourselves. Yeah.
exactly, Miss I slash tires. Yeah, go on, keep on talking. I got the purple on read that
Oh,
right here.
now you're
I
keeping
already
a
have the
tally
9
and
and the 1.
receipts.
The 9 and the 1. I'm just missing one.
Oh, just missing one. Okay, all right, fine. I accept it. But
No, but
go ahead,
it,
Miss.
Miss Marlene, I'm sorry. No, but you know what? That probably is the reason why, we are as we are, because we're the last of so many kids that, we have had to experience so many different moods. And so there were many different attitudes and so many different stages
Mhm.
of growth that it has us being who we are today.
Yeah, and I think for me, Miss Nexie, the reason why I am the way that I am, but just think about it, being in a household with, you know, 12 different personalities, 12 different attitudes, and I had to process like who did I want to be like. And then when
Yeah.
I realized, like, you know what? I don't want to be like any of them.
Yeah, I don't have to be like any of them.
Yeah.
I have to be me, right? But the influences, but my I'm just thinking about something when remember the movie The Exorcist when it came
Yeah.
out? So I remember, like, when I was like, I don't know, I think it was probably like 9, no, probably like 10, like 12, I think. Yeah, like 12 or 13. And I don't know what I was, not throwing a tantrum, but I was upset about something. I was like, no, I can't believe this. And I was very upset. And then I remember my brother comes over. He's like, what's going on? I don't know. She's mad about.
Uh-oh. Still there, Miss Nexie? Cut out for a
Uh,
second. Okay, it's
is
back.
this internet thing? I'm back. Okay. So I'm going on and on and on about something, and I'm upsetting my room. I was like 13 years old, I think, 12, 13. And my brother put his hand on the door. He says, I need a young priest and an old priest. The power of and I turned around and I looked at him and I started cracking up because I was like, what do you mean? Do you think I have something inside of me? And then I'm like, Dad. But the thing is, my brothers, because they were so weird like that, they will distract me again and allow me to think. And this is not like the one time occurrence. It was something that they will do. They will distract me, and that will give me the time to say, wait, why am I behaving like this? Or why am I reacting like this? Or what am I doing? They will always find a way. And I think that that's a very good lesson for me, at least it was, because now I have the ability to, before I act, I'm like, wait a minute, am I going to react this right, or am I reacting the right way? Did I make some? So I have to reevaluate everything all the time, because they will always do things like that. When I was going on a tantrum, I was doing something, they will be like saying something funny or something different or something like, what's wrong? And I'll be like, whoa, whoa, okay, why did he look at me like that? So it gave me the ability to think a little bit older than myself, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But I will never forget that day. I need a young priest and an old priest.
Oh, Miss Nexie, but guess what? At least you got that. I think having brothers and having so many brothers, that the problem with that is they gave me, oh, you want to act like you're a grown man? Oh, we're going to treat you like a grown man. I didn't like that part, you know? I didn't like that
Mm,
part. Like, oh, you think
mm.
you're grown? Okay, we're going to treat you grown. But I didn't want to be, you know how like you just want to be grown at those at moments, you know?
Yes.
It's only
Yeah, but you
specific
see,
moments.
Miss
Like
Marlene, you see,
I only want to be I only wanted to be grown like when it came to having my own way and things like that. But the rest of it, I was like, oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to work. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to do any of this. I want all the luxuries and comforts of being the baby, but then let me be grown and go out and do what I want. It's like it don't work that way.
no, again, for me, because I had not seen the movie or anything like that, I think for me was like, am I possessed? I
Oh
think
my goodness.
that's what hit me, because I never seen that movie. Like I don't like scary movies to begin with, so I had never seen it or anything like that. I just think that it was something that got me like, well, oh no, oh, Miss Marlene, no, 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 no. I wasn't 13. I was 16. I remember now. I
Oh, you
wasn't
were
13. I was 16.
grown.
I was grown, and I was going on and on about something, because I think they had moved something in my room. I don't remember exactly, but something happened in my room, and I was like, all upset at myself. And I wasn't yelling at anyone. I was just upset inside my room. And that's when my brother came and did that. And I was like, am I possessed?
Well, they shouldn't have been in your
But
room. They would have got worse than that if it was
yeah,
me. I don't want nobody come in
thank
my room.
you.
No
Thank
way.
you. That's what I was upset about, is that somebody came in and moved what I was looking for. But to this day, I cannot remember what was happening. All I remember was my dumb brother saying things. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? And
But
I
you
looked at
know,
my dad, and my dad looked at me like shocked. And I was like, I am possessed. I think I'm possessed.
but you know what, Miss Nexie, what I learned from all of those situations, that when certain people in our lives, like for me, mine was my brothers, my dad, did things to me to stop me from going down a bad path. When you're on that road and you're not thinking, like you're making bad decisions, you're listening to your other peers, or you're listening to what society say you should do and be, and you're not really being your own person. And I remember my oldest brother, the one that has passed already, saying to me like, you got to be your own self, Marlene. Like, why are you letting like these other little girls control you? And he was like, oh,
Mm.
you think you're tough? Well, in Jamaica, they say you think you're a roughneck. So
Uh-huh.
I used to think, yeah, a roughneck, like you're rough around the edges. And
How
I was like,
cute.
yeah. I was like, I'm a roughneck. I'm a roughneck. They're like, oh, you're a roughneck. Okay, so we're going to treat you like a roughneck. And I didn't. No, I was like, no, I want to be a little girl. I was like, I want to go back. I want to be a little girl. Like I'm the youngest. Why are you guys being so mean to me?
But again, when you have people that, um regardless of where you live and what country or what stage in life you are, but when you have people that you can look up to, right? People that have been there for you in their own little way, that is something that, at least for me, I appreciate that, right? Because like you said right now, they have stopped you from probably making the biggest mistakes of your life
Mhm.
in their own little way, but
Yeah.
just giving you a little bit of common sense, bringing your sense back and say, hey, why are you acting like that? That's not you,
Hmm.
right? But when you have had people like that, for me, it's like, that was my siblings, my sisters, my dad, and certain friends that I have had in life, that sometimes I will see their parents doing certain things, about the my friend's mistakes, and I'll be like, oh, that's different, that's cool, I like that. And I will learn sometimes, like, oh, okay, they did that because she did this, so I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to get into
Hmm.
that trouble. So sometimes you just have to, and again, those people that have probably not been in your life in a positive way, that have always, viewed you and wished negativity on you, to those people, those are the ones that, we have to say, hey, thank you,
Hmm.
right? For wishing me all that ill will or that negativity. And thank you for, for being you, because it has made me the person that I am today, different than you, better
You,
than you in certain ways. So we have
yes.
to appreciate that. And again, like we said it before, that's the best revenge. That is the best revenge.
Hmm.
To be living your best life, to be the best that you can do, to advance at your own pace, nobody else's. You have to always advance and do things at your own pace, but always make sure that it is positive for you, even if it looks negative for everybody else. As long as it is positive for you, keep on going and show them, your revenge is that I'm better than you, or better than you thought I was.
Yep. And that's one of the best things that you can ever do in this life is to best revenge is to number one, to have peace. Number two, to get your mind back. Number three, live the life of your dreams. Get your education. And don't let other people control you, whether they support you or like you. That's one of the best things you can ever do is really taking care of yourself, like taking care of your health, either losing weight or getting fit, taking care of your mind, like really working on your skeletons in the closet. Some people call them their inner demons or whatever, but working on those things so that you can remove that from your life so you don't let it control you. And for me, that's the best revenge. I didn't understand that my anger stemmed from all those skeletons, and once I confronted those skeletons and stopped running from them and being afraid of my past, and said, my past does not control me. I control my present.
Mm-hmm.
I am in control of
Exactly.
my actions and what I think about me. And that's when you
Exactly.
get your power back.
Exactly, Miss Marlene. Exactly. That's it. I know that a lot of times when you get angry, you feel like you have to go there with someone. But I think that the best revenge is not doing that. It's surprising
Mhm.
them that you're not going to go there with them, or anyone else for that matter.
Mhm.
That you're going to continue on your path without any distractions. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Don't give
And
in to anything that others say about you, and don't believe on anything they do. Just believe on what you think of you. That's the only
yep.
thing I can say, like, for people like that. And you and I come from big families, and we come from even bigger extended families, right? And
Yes.
there's so many different angles that we can go in this little discussion of different people that have harmed us or hurt us or said things or wish awful things on us. And we can come out here and hold our heads are high and say, hey, 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 nothing that you said that I was or was going to be, none of that came true.
Yeah. And
That's the
we
best
couldn't,
revenge.
and Miss Nexie, we could never leave this conversation without talking about social media. This is the last point we're going to talk about. But I have to say, on social media, I remember when I first started my YouTube or my other social media. And I remember people laughing at me like, oh, what are you going to say? And you guys know how I used to be, like talking like a little mouse. Like, I was definitely very shy and reserved when I first started off here. And I've seen my own progress and my personal growth being a content creator. And as my confidence has grown, so has my ability to be able to share different topics and be more transparent about things that I went through. So I want to say that to anybody, that are a content creator, not a content creator, don't let other people tell you who you are, what you can do, and what you can achieve. You just keep being yourself.
don't,
That's what's important.
don't let others dictate. Yeah, don't let others dictate the the way your channel is supposed to be run. Don't let others dictate the topics or the kind of channels that you're supposed to have. I'm not a content creator. I've said this many a times. I am not. But if I was, I will never allow people to tell me what I should or should not be doing, because for content creation, you have to have exactly what you want to your channel to be, or it's not going to succeed. If others don't like it, all they got to do is leave, right? Go somewhere else and find content that they like. So whatever you do with your channel, and now that you're coming out of your little box and you're actually more um, in tune with what you want the world to see or what you want to leave others with, Miss Marlene, now it's even more of a rubber stamp on the mindset that you had. My channel, I want it to be about this, and this is what I'm going to do regardless of the criticism you got, right? This is
Right.
exactly what I want to go with my channels. This is exactly what I want to do for others. So regardless of what those ugly comments, because I know that people do that, they leave some horribly negative comments on some people. I've read on others pages that they are so mean and so rude. But regardless of what they say, if your true self and your belief is that this is what you want to work on and do, then that's exactly what you do. People cannot, they're not in your shoes. They don't have your experiences. So the only one that can say and project exactly what the outcome of your channels is going to be is you, nobody else. So you might have not had the confidence, right, in the beginning of how you were gonna establish yourself or how you were gonna make your channels grow and get to the point where they're at right now. You probably didn't, but then again, practice makes perfect. You continued it on regardless of the negativity that you surrounded you. So that's exactly what we should do. And that again, proof again, that's the best revenge. Your channels grow organically, and they grow
Yeah.
because of people that come to you and believe on what you're doing. That is the exactly the support that you want. You don't want to buy it. You don't want to do things that are not good, that you don't believe in, so that you can get the audience. You want to do things that you believe in, making a positive impact and getting the channel to grow organically. And you're going to grow with the channel. That's the whole point of this, doing it organically. Because before you probably not had a voice, you probably couldn't do things. You were mousy, as you said. But now
Yep.
look at you. Look at
I
that
was a
big voice that comes out
I
and
was a
tells me,
little
Miss
mouse.
Lexi,
I was
are
like
you
a
ready,
little
Miss
mousey.
Lexi? Yeah, but look at now, Miss Lexi, are you ready?
Yeah, I
So
was like, are
again,
you ready? And even now, like
again,
you,
organically, it's
go ahead, Miss Nexie.
yeah. Go ahead, Miss Marlene.
I
Oh
was
no, no,
gonna
no, no.
say,
I was gonna say, look at you now.
hmm yeah, and now I even hear from some people in the peanut gallery, and they know who they are, who like to say, "Now I'm too loud."
Well, I will never say that. I mean, not to your
Oh
face,
no,
but I
not
will never
you,
say
not
that.
you. Never Miss Nexie. She's always a good boy.
No, no, but this is the thing, though, Miss Marlene, and again, we're talking about the best revenge, right? Or getting revenge, and I think that a lot of times people think that is we're vindictive and that we're trying to. No, it's not that. It's that for us, right? Revenge has a different meaning than to others, right? And
Mhm.
depending on how healthy mind, healthy heart you are, that's where the difference between others and you come. Now, for you, the best revenge is being patient enough to see your channels grow. Being patient enough that when you see them grow by 10 or 20, you still get happy. You know,
Yeah.
if you grow it too fast, then the surprise of the growth becomes unimportant. Seeing it grow is what matters, is what gives you the drive to continue on with what you're doing and what you believe in. And staying true to yourself and not changing because of what others have said to you, that is your best revenge.
Yes, Miss Nexie. And you know what? My best revenge is all the people who talked about nobody would like my channel. And I've monetized not one, not two, but my third one is about to get monetized. Who knows how many I want to go to? And if I want to have, what does it say, 2011 channels, that's how many channels I'm going to have. Hmm.
Yeah, because it's your hard work that does it, it's nobody else's.
And it's
And
my
that's the thing.
business. It's my business too.
Exactly. It's your brand. And again, that's the biggest, because when you see growth, and this goes for anything in life, right? Like, when you're planting flowers, when you're doing planting your little roses or little whatever you're planting, seeing them grow, watering them every day, when they finally bloom, the satisfaction, even the smell of the flower, which it could be the same one if you buy it already, already grown. The
Hmm.
smell of it is so much better in your according to you, is so much better, so much more smelling around your house. It feels so good, it looks so beautiful. They're the same as the ones at the store already grown, but because you
Hmm.
grew them yourself, you had the satisfaction of seeing it from 2 3 subscribers, or 1 to 2 little inches grown, to a full blown 10, 1500, you know 5,000, 10,000. If you would have gone from zero to 5,000, that would have been your biggest, oh wow, after that is nothing. But because you're seeing it little by little with your effort, with how much thought you put into everything you create, every topic, everything you curate, it's something that you have lived, you have felt, or you have seen somebody go through. You're not doing content just for promotions or fun. No, you're doing it because it's something you believe in. So, to all of those who said, "Hey, you should change, or maybe you should do this," oh my God, you should not talk about that. That's not you. To all those people that didn't believe, didn't support, and didn't think you were gonna make it, hey, this is your best revenge.
Hmm. Yes, I that's what I say too, Miss Nexie. And the funny part about it is that when people always laugh and talk about, oh my God, one channel is so hard, like I roll my eyes and I'm like, do you know how much time I could have if I only had one channel? Are you kidding me? I don't know. I don't get it, Miss Nexie. I don't get it. That's just me. I don't get it.
I know, but again, it's your effort, it's your time, it's your dedication. Nobody else's. So they don't have a
Mhm.
right to tell you what to talk about, what to do, how to run it, how to do it, because then it defeats the purpose. It defeats everything you're doing.
Mhm. And I said, and that's going to be my revenge too. When I have all five of my channels monetized, which they will be, and just for spite, I think I may just make a sixth channel and say, I don't know, just call it I don't know channel. I don't
I
know, and then
don't
monetize that
know.
one too.
Just because. Call it the revenge channel. Come to this one. Let's talk about revenge.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna
But
be
whatever
like
it is,
the revenge channel, the sequel.
but whatever it is that you do, again, it's bettering you, bettering everything about you. It's making, it's actually helping humanity. It's helping others, and helping them also strive to be the best they can be. If we would have stayed on our negative path and our negative behavior, we probably would have never been able to, inspire, because I'm sure you have, and probably I have once or twice inspired people to try to seek help and be the best they can be. So that, Miss Marlene, for life itself, giving us all those hardships before, that is my revenge to life.
Yeah,
I got out of it and I did the best. And
you
I've
did the
been
best.
living the best life I can.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
that's
love
it.
that. I love it. That's it. Great topic.
And I think this is a good time to close on our topic, Miss Marlene, because I got something.
Yep, I know. I know. Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to the Sip and Chat. I appreciate every single one of you. And me and Miss Nexty will see you guys back next week. Bye.
Hey, James. I didn't know James was there. Hi, James. Sorry, Miss Marlene. I just got
That's
excited to see
okay.
James there.
Appreciate you guys for coming, and we'll see you guys next week. I'm Love Marlene 411, your channel for all of the love things, because when you learn to love yourself, it can trickle down in how you can love others. See you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Thank you for having me, Miss Marlene. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And don't forget to hit that like button. And we'll see you next week. And if you're new, subscribe.
Yep.
And don't forget to press that like. Bye, Miss Marlene. Bye, everyone in the chat.
Bye,
Thank you for
bye,
supporting Miss
bye.
Marlene. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.